Hey everybody, and welcome to Planet Zoo. Today I have started a new franchise, and I'm hoping to build this into a series. So, for those of you who are new to Planet Zoo, in this game you basically build a zoo, you get guests to come in and look at your animals, you have to give your animals enrichment and such, environment and stuff to make them happy, and you have to provide shops for your guests. So, this is a franchise, so it's not sandbox. I do have a limited amount of money, and I will earn money when guests like how the animals are being treated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by making a little path. Here we go. And I'm going to curve it around like that. And then we're going to bring it back in. So that will be a little section where they come out. And actually this part might be for shops. So they'll come out and there'll be shops here and they can buy food and drinks and go to the toilet. Meanwhile, maybe up here we'll have our first animals. So this one will be a bit bigger because a lot more people will be wanting to see animals, I'm sure. Here we go. So this is a franchise. So in Sandbox I would usually go big and get some really cool animals, but usually the bigger or cooler they are, the more they cost to adopt. So I'm just probably going to look in my Zoopedia and find a smaller animal like an aardvark that is more sustainable to have at the beginning of a franchise. Okay, so I was looking through some of the smaller animals and I've decided on the Indian Peafowl. One of the reasons is they don't need much land. They only need 312 meters squared per adult. And if I just say a few juveniles, it barely goes up at all, which is awesome. And also, I'm pretty sure, their group sizes go up to 4 males and up to 16 females. We probably won't get that many, but we'll let them breed and then we'll get even more from that. So now that we've decided that what animal we're going to do, before we can get them in here, we're going to have to build a little staff section, because these are all of the needs that the staff need before we can really do much. So I'm going to go here, a staff path. We're going to put it right here near the beginning, just like that. Now the reason that I've taken it away from the path is because guests often get a little bit unhappy when they see sort of like the behind the scenes, if you know what I mean, like the staff sections. So they usually don't like it if they can see it. So I've taken it away, and also before we open the zoo I'm going to put some plants and trees so that it's harder to notice. Okay, so the first thing that we need is a workshop. So we'll just get this basic one here, and I'll put it there. Next we need a research center, and we'll put it right next to it, because the workshop is where mechanics can research, and they might research new barriers that I can use. And the research center here is where vets can like study and stuff, and they're discovering how to help with new bacterias and viruses that the animals might catch. Anyway, next we need a keeper hut. So the keeper hut is where the keepers will go and make food and then bring them to the animals' habitats. A staff room is what you will probably guess, where the staff can rest. A quarantine. This is where I'll be putting my animals when I first get them to see if they have any like viruses already before I bring them in. If they do, they can be treated by the vets already, and then it will be no problem. Of course, the vets need a vet surgery to actually treat the animals. Next we need a trade center. So this is where the animals will come in little boxes, where the keepers collect them and take them to the quarantine. Okay, so that's our staff area done. We're going to move on to the facilities and shops for the guests. I'm going to put in a gulpy soda so that they can the guests can stay hydrated. A chief beef where they can have food and so they won't be as hungry. And a toilet block where they can all go to the toilet. Now, lastly, And most excitingly, we will be moving on to the Indian Peafowl. So if we look here, it says that they need 312 meters squared for one adult and no juveniles. So I might say we start with 2 adults. So that's only 324. But in the future, we'll probably have about 6 adults and 3 juveniles, so 390 meters squared. That's fine. I'll just give them like 420 maybe, just for some extra space. Also, their boundary requirements is a grade 1 fence or barrier, and it has to be at least 1.25 meters. They don't need any climbing equipment, water or deep water. Their temperature requirement is very flexible, 3 to 42. This I probably won't need to put any heaters or coolers for this, because that's going to be the standard temperature here, because we are in a tropical biome. So these are the different barriers we can use. So they wanted at least a grade 1, which is the lowest grade, and then they wanted it to be at least 1.25 meters. I might do concrete, because even though it's very high, it's grade 6, I think it looks cool. I'm going to add curves on it, so we can curve it around like this. And there we go. It's pretty small, but that's going to be heaps of space for the peafowl. Now what I want to do is, so the guests can see in, I'm going to add, I could do glass, but I'm going to do one-way glass, just in case. I didn't check, but just in case that they're not friendly with humans. Because with one-way glass, so for our side we can see into the habitat, but for them it's just black and they can't tell that humans are there. So we're going to be doing that. There we go. So now that the guests can all see in, but for the peafowl they can barely see out. Next, what we need to do is we need to add a gate so that the staff can get in and give food and drop off animals. Yeah, this is fine. I'll just take it straight down so the staff can come around here. Because the guests are fine with seeing staff, they just don't like the buildings. I'll go to animal trading, and I'll search Indian and select Indian Peafowl. Oh wow, some of these are really good. Look at this, a gold girl. Look at those stats, all green. That's really good. But it's not for money, it's for conservation credits, and conservation credits are quite special. I only have 514, but that's definitely enough to get this one. You get conservation credits when you release animals to the wild. So I'm going to start by definitely taking her. I want a boy. Those are pretty good stats, so I'll take that too. We'll take one more girl, because they like to have more girls than boys when I looked at the stats. So this one's okay, but it's not very good in size. Okay, I actually prefer this one. Longevity or size. Longevity or size. We're going to go for longevity, because that just means that they'll last longer and live longer. Because size isn't a huge deal, and their size isn't that bad. It's only 50%. So we'll take that one. Okay, now that we've done that, we need to actually hire our staff. So we'll go into zoo, staff. We're going to take 2 caretakers. So they might deliver animals around, but also clean up trash after the guests. Have a keeper there so they can feed the animals. A mechanic, so he can research for me and also repair barriers when they get damaged. A security guard, so that he can stop people from pickpocketing. Now, these shops come with vendors, but we're going to get another one because they'll often want a rest, so they'll swap out. We need a vet. I might skip out on the educator for now, because we don't quite need education yet. Okay, our money's going down right now, and it will start going up again if the guests, one, buy tickets to come in, but also donate. So, last thing we need here are some donation boxes. We'll put one there, there, and there. So if they like the way the peafowls are being treated, they might donate like $20. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my storage. So we have these peafowl here. I'm going to select them all, send to zoo, and I'm going to put them in the quarantine center, so they'll get rid of any diseases. We've already got a caretaker coming in here, and the vet's coming too, and he comes out with a box. In this box is one of the peafowl. Then he puts it in the quarantine center. Meanwhile, the vet comes out with another one, and this one will come out with the last. We'll be given a notification when they're all done. Meanwhile, over here, I just remembered they only have to have it at 1.25 meters, and 2 meters is fine, but it would be kind of cool if it was a bit lower and the guests can also peek over a bit. So I'll highlight that, and I'll bring it down a bit. There we go, that looks nice. But just in case the peafowl don't like humans, they might be able to see now. So I'm going to go into terrain to make it look cool. I might push it down a bit and flatten to foundation. Of course, we do have to leave this part up so that they can walk down when they first get dropped off. You might notice this happens a lot, so I'm just going to smooth that out, and that looks a lot better. Now it says our quarantine is passed for all of them, which is great, so they don't have any diseases. I'm going to take them all here, and I'll move them, and we'll put them in this habitat right here. So now they're going in and taking them out, and they'll come along here and put them in the habitat. One of the biggest things in Planet Zoo is to make your animals happy, so as soon as this one comes in, then I'll give it some enrichment. Look at that! It's the boy. Here's the golden girl, and here's the other one. Cool. Looks like they're liking it so far, but when you look at their welfare, you notice their enrichment is at 0%. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so they need food enrichment and toy enrichment. Let's go habitat, enrichment, food. And then I'll put it under Indian Peafowl. So you can see here it goes under Indian Peafowl, and yeah, right here too. So I'm surprised. The only things that we know about them are these two. So what I might do is, oh look at this, our guests are arriving. I'm going to go here, vet research, and oh really? They've already researched that, because from previous franchises I've researched all of this. So I've done Indian Peafowl and all of these bacteria that they've mastered. Wow, that's surprising that that's the only thing Indian Peafowl like. Meanwhile, our mechanic has also researched a lot of stuff. He can research more, and what I think he should research, why not do transport rides, because maybe we can have some cool trains that take guests around. Okay, so I'll do that, and now she will go to the workshop, and we'll see her start researching in there. In the meantime, the guests look like they're enjoying it. Let's check the donation boxes. Wow, already $180 has been donated into this one. Another 180 here. And 0 here. Okay, let's have a look at their needs. So, enrichment, of course. So, let's give them... This is quite big. Does it fit? It does, but it's probably going to move the terrain a bit. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I think maybe we could paint this rock so it looks like that was meant to be like that. Are they fine with rock though? Oh yeah, they're fine with that. Okay, so they've got their food enrichment. We need toy enrichment. Okay, we can get them these. Oh, this looks cool. Or a sprinkler. I'll give them this toy here. I'll put that right there, and just for the future when we have more and they'll want more stuff, we'll put a sprinkler right there. Cool, so that sprinkler's going. Okay, so they're really happy with that. That's 100%. Now what's wrong with their habitat? Oh right, hard shelter. So that when it rains they will want shelter, of course. So these are some wooden shelters that they like. Okay, this one seems the best one that can fit here. I'll put it like that. That will do. It's fine if there's grass there because it just looks like moss. Next we'll add some bedding for them. There we go. And that's their shelter. Let's see if they're happy with that. So they're not quite sure of their navigatable area here. Let's see. Okay. So the blue is where they can walk. And that seems fine. But apparently they still don't like this space. Let's see here. Oh, I thought I did way more. Dang it. Okay, that's fine. I'll just expand it out a bit more here. So there's two things we could do. We could add the barriers around here first and then remove those. Or what we could do is we could box them up and put them away and then do that. I think I'm just going to do this here and add the barriers coming out. Oh, can you even do that though? Okay, it looks like I can't do that, so we're gonna have to go with the hard way. So we'll move you. Might as well do it in the quarantine just in case they've caught any more diseases we haven't found yet. There we go. So now that that's going to happen, wow, so they really like Gold Soda. There's a long line for this. Okay, so I'm just looking at this, and by the looks of the amount of people that are coming, I think I can maybe higher the price of it. So make this $9, but this here can probably be $8. Let's see if they like that or not, because I might have made it too high and gotten greedy there. But look at that, now our money's going up a whole bunch. Wow, $1.7 thousand has been donated to this one. 400 there. And 700 there, nice. That's awesome, we're making profits very fast now. I'm going to get rid of this barrier, this barrier, this barrier, this barrier, and this barrier. So we're gonna bring it out a bit more. Let's just see if that's enough. And don't do what I forgot to do last time and forget to like check how long it is. 460, that's great. Okay, so now that that's sorted with, actually I might make this another bit that's more up, and then now that we've got this area here, I'll make it into glass. Okay, the quarantine's being passed right now, so we'll bring them in. Okay, the Peafowl are being brought back in, but I'm probably going to have to end the video right here. Next time I would have done a little bit more work over here and added some plants around everywhere. And yeah, I would have just done some minor tweaks to make it all work a bit better, and then we'll add some more animals. See you in the next one. Bye!